Well, like I said, that was unexpected. But now everybody has said everything I was planning on saying. So I'm probably going to make this a little shorter than I planned on. But I'd like to recognize some folks here. First of all of our directors and district committee men. If y'all would stand up and be recognized. Come on, guys. Give them a round of applause. Also, past chairman, if you please stand and be recognized, let's give them a round of applause. And then also, tonight we have a couple Hall of Fame members here. You know, the FTBA has a Hall of Fame, very prestigious group. So I'd like to welcome and have you recognize Bob Burleson and Jerry Stanley. And let me tell you about Henry, okay? He was laying it on me, but y'all know or realize you've traded in a Corvette for a minivan here, okay? This is the way it's going to be. Tough act to follow. Everything we've done this past year, I mean, Henry has just raised the bar. Through last year's acceptance speech, every meeting we've had, every place we've been, every function, I have called him on the phone and said, "Man, you're killing me. You know, you gotta lighten up a little bit here." But Henry, thank you so much for everything you've done. You know, it's been a pleasure working with you. I got to stop for a minute and say, Stephen, thank you. Never expected that. What a tribute. Appreciate that so much. A lot of you folks know me. You're all friends. But just a real little quick bit about me. You know, I started with the Department of Transportation when I was 19 years old. Survey crew. DOT used to do construction surveying in those days, and started as a rodman. You know, wanted to work outside in the fresh air and the sunshine, and that's where I started. Spent a lot of years learning to take densities and run asphalt tests. Bad stuff there. Concrete is a much better product, let me tell you. Sorry, guys. But after I've been with the department a few years, I got out of the densities and asphalt, felt my passion was in concrete and pile driving and bridge building. And so for 8 years working with the department, I took care of all the bridge work for the department in Orange, Osceola, and Seminole County. So I got to work with a lot of different contractors, saw a lot of things, you know, saw means and methods and how people did things better. That was kind of, man, this is my passion here. So move ahead, 1982. Get a big job in Orlando, and the contractor was Leware Construction Company. And I met Jim Leware Sr., and that just turned my whole life around. I went home that night and I said, "Man, I met the guy today that I want to work for. I really think I'm going to work for this guy someday." 2 years later, Jim hired me. 1984, I went to work for Leware in Leesburg. And a couple of years later, Jim passed away way too early. 50 years old. Some of y'all don't know that story. But Jim Sr. passed away at 50 years old. And Jim Jr. and Scott were in their 20s. There's me and Andy Clark. And it was a matter of survival. So Jim and Scott went to building bridges every day. And Andy and I went to travel on the roads and getting work, fighting the battles, making the friends. So many of you out here tonight, making the friends, nurturing the relationships, helping build a business. So I got 2 stories about work to tell you. So 1987, long time ago. But now we're just 1 year after Jim has passed. So times are a little tough for the 4 of us. And we get this big job. Widen I-4 in Orlando, 1 mile of I-4 in Orlando. Big job, $3 million. Okay? 6 bridges, right there in Orlando, downtown Orlando, $3 million. So we have a pre-construction conference, and we have this grave difference of opinion with the department. And obviously, the department was wrong, and Andy and I were right. So a few weeks later, we have a little meeting with them, and they give us the ground rules, and we still have a disagreement. So a couple of weeks later, they call us back again. And this second meeting with the department is one of the classic Leware stories of all time, and Jim or Andy can tell you the details of that meeting. It's a classic. But anyhow, so after that meeting, the department was basically going to take that job from us. And now we've just been, it's been a year of struggle. We need this job, and they're going to take it away from us. So Andy gets a call from District 5, from DeLand, and they said, Ben Watts wants to see you guys. Holy cow. I mean, where I've come from. I was a peon working for DOT, and now the district secretary has called us in. We've been called to Emerald City, and the great and powerful Oz is going to kick our butts, So Andy and I go meet Ben, and we talk to him, and we have this great meeting with Ben. And when we're about through, he said, Men, there's two things I want to tell you. I have two things under the glass on my desk. One is my PE license, and one is the definition of a supplemental agreement. Okay? He said, I want you guys to go down the hall. I want you to work out a supplemental agreement. I want you to go out there and build that job. Pretty cool. So when I left, we left his office, and I noticed on his wall was a plaque, framed quote, and it says, act as if what you do makes a difference. I've kept that with me every day since. Give you one more story. Move ahead a few years. Now things are going a little bit better. We're moving on, 1991. And we get this job in Alachua to widen some bridges on 441. And we get a call again from Lake City, from district. We got this young engineer, green, but he's pretty smart. We think he's got a lot of potential. Would you guys kind of go easy on it? Okay, you've told us to go easy on this. Okay, we're fine. So we built this job. Scott Leware was the superintendent. Andy worked with this young man to teach him scheduling, or at least that's the way Andy tells it. And we went on and we built this job, and the job was very successful. And when it was over, we said, you know what? One of these days, we might want to hire that guy. Well, it took us 25 years, but we did hire Ananth Prasad to lead this organization. Pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. So, now, just quickly, I'm going to go to this association. We're getting ready to start our 90th year. That's pretty good. Over 500 company members. That's impressive, guys. Nice big group here. When I started in 1984, there were 158 contractor members. Today, there's almost 200. But what's interesting to me was the fact that of those 158 in 1984, there's only 17 contractors still here out of that group. You know who you are. I'm not going to call names. But it kind of showed me the foundation that it takes to build an association, okay? But even like building a bridge, when you get the foundation, that isn't just it. You got to go on. You got to grow. You got to keep adding on and building. And that's what we need to do in this association. We need to keep building. This past year, we've added 3 new board-level members, SBE, DBE, and specialty contractor. We need everybody involved. This is all of us. We're in this together. So we have a group of committees. We have 8 committees that work very hard for you folks, behind the scenes, making changes, getting things done that are better. All non-members reap those benefits. So let's bring them in. We need to grow our membership. We need to involve more people. Some of us aren't going to be around but a couple more years. Guaranteed, Jim. Okay? We know that one of our biggest problems, and we all talk about it everywhere we go, is workforce. So, we're continuing. The association has got work group going to try to get up with a campaign, try to show how impressed we are to be in this business, how good of a business this is. I mean, you can go from a 19-year-old Rodman that doesn't know anything to standing before you tonight. I mean, anybody can do this, okay? I'm nothing special. It just takes hard work. But one thing that I want to tell you, too, is that we need to promote our business, each of us individually. We need to make these young people feel like it is an important job, that they are worthy to be here. So this past year, I was just thumbing through the TV channels, and I hit Dirty Jobs. Everybody watches Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. Well, they had a crew, and they were out on the Gateway project here in Florida, a crew of FTBA member Shelby Erectors, crew of men out there working tie and steel, and those guys talked up their job and our industry like you can't believe. If you haven't watched it, y'all need to watch this. This is what we all need to do. We need to talk up our industry to let the people know this is a great thing. Nothing happens without us. Think about it. Nothing happens. The economy is driven by what we do. Transportation is what it's all about. So along that line too, we got to continue to work on our relationships. We have a great group of leaders in central office and DOT. I mean, the top 5 guys there, they're all in new chairs from last year. But this group, I tell you, is special. I think we can work with them. They're going to work for us. And if they're successful, we're going to be successful, guaranteed. Their success is good for our business. So let's embrace that relationship with those guys. Let's keep it going. Probably the sourest point that everybody always has, of course, is about some of our inspection forces and our CEIs, okay? We've all got problems with them periodically. And in that regard, a couple of years ago, Amanda got a group of us together, and there's 7 contractors, 1 from each district, 7 CEI leaders, 1 from each district. And we've been meeting off the record, kind of. Did some team stuff through the COVID era. And the last couple of construction conferences, we've had breakfast together. And you really get to know people. When you all know you're really kind of eating out of the same plate anyway, I mean, right? We all get our checks from the same place. The CEI and us. So we have a common ground there, and we need to work hard on getting rid of some of these differences. The personalities are always going to play in it, and there's going to be problems. But we need to work those issues out, and it really starts with talking, being open. So we talk about Ananth being, he and our advocacy partners being the voice of transportation in Tallahassee. Well, we need to be the voice of transportation and the action of transportation from Pensacola to Key West, okay? We need to be it everywhere we go. We need to talk it up. We need to stand by what we say. We need to build the industry, build our transportation system. So how are we going to do that? We're going to work together. All you folks, the department, our CE&Is, it's all of us together. The phrase this year was stronger together. Guaranteed we will be stronger together. So what's my plan for next year? I mean, Henry laid out all these great things we've accomplished this year. Hard work by a lot of people. Everybody working behind the scenes. What's my plan for next year? I don't really have one, okay? But I promise you, I will act as what if I do makes a difference for you folks. So let me close with just thanking some people. Ananth, you've been a good friend for 25 years plus. He is the strongest advocate we have ever seen. The guy thinks transportation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it shows. So, Ananth, thank you so much. And the ladies, Stacy, Heather, Cynthia, what a great job they do. Not just tonight, but all year long. And it's tough dealing with us. We're not the most agreeable group, So thank you for what y'all do. Thank you, the membership. Thank you for showing your faith and confidence in me. I hope I can do you a good job this year. All the committee chairs that are working behind the scenes, 8 of them. They really work hard, and people don't know what goes on a lot of times, but these committees work really hard to make changes with specifications and design standards and things like that. And it all works for the best. The directors, all you guys for your commitment to the association. For the past chairs, so many of you have just become great friends. In the last couple of weeks, I have received so many phone calls with with words of encouragement. And a little harassment, let me tell you. It's been an interesting week. But, what goes around comes around. So anyhow, it'll all work out, I guarantee you. But I don't want to single out any past chairs because I'm afraid I would miss somebody. And all of y'all so valuable to me. Other than, you know, Jim Leware, 1995, 96. Andy Clark, 2000, 2001. I mean, we spent 30 plus years together. Jim, thank you for always being there with me, beside me, giving me the freedom to do what I do. Andy, oh my gosh, y'all know Andy Clark. My old buddy Andy Clark. We spent 30 years, Jim and Scott were working hard and building stuff, and Andy and I were riding the roads 30 years together. And we traveled this state, and we carried a big old stack of maps, because we didn't have GPS in those days. Come on, you know? No cell phones. We had, you know, quarters, and we had an 800 number, so we did pretty good. But we traveled the roads together, fought a lot of battles, won the majority of them, I will say that. So we carried those plans and specs and my old brown Bible, and we used all three of them all the time. So God love him. I love him to death. So my family. I am blessed. I'm a blessed man. I've got a great, great family. We got 6 kids, 5 spouses, 9 grandchildren. Did I say spouses? I mean their spouses, not mine, okay? I mean, that wasn't even intended, so. But anyhow, so I'm sure I've missed some things tonight, folks. I had a little outline, but I haven't looked at my notes much. But I just want to thank you all for your support for me, and I look forward to a great year. Thank God for all the blessings in my life, and thank you.